lot of crazy rumors going on about what we do up here. Some folks think we're making butter, and some folks think we're milking goats because you can't milk sheep. We always tell folks that we don't have sheep so that we can make cheese. We make cheese so that we can have sheep. So our first love is the animals. During lambing season, and when we're lambing and milking and making cheese, there's times that you may not get 3 hours of sleep a day, and you're just really worn out. And you can't continue at that pace for very long if you're not excited about what you're doing and don't love what you're doing.
Does it feel so good that you're willing to not eat for a minute? You go back to eating, okay? Go back to eating.
My wife and I both are originally from Pike County. We're mountain folks. We're from deep down in Pike County, right next to the West Virginia border. Once the coal mining industry kind of fell on its bottom, I went into the military and got some electronics training. And when I got out, we moved to Powell County, and we lived there while we raised our kids, and I worked at Toyota for 17 years. When we started looking for a place to have sheep, we looked all around, and when we discovered Bath County and the rolling hills, it just looked like the perfect place for sheep. We grew up in the mountains, climbing hills and up and down, so this really just feels like home to us, and we're just tickled to death to be here in Bath County. We felt a calling to become shepherds and to have sheep, and it was about a year process for us to decide on that, but once we decided that's what we needed to do, we needed to figure out how to make a living from it. And in our research, we found that people were actually starting to milk sheep again here in the United States, just like they had done for centuries in Europe, and being able to make cheese from that milk, and that it was a very expensive gourmet cheese. And the more research we did, we found out no one was doing it here in this area, in the state of Kentucky, and largely not in the southeast. So we thought that might be a niche for us if we could learn how to become cheese makers and learn how to milk sheep. We purchased our first 6 sheep from Vermont because this is a dairy breed. They're East Friesians, and they're pretty hard to find in this area. We kept them the first summer. The first spring they had their lambs. We'd never touched a sheep before, and we didn't know if we could keep them alive or if we could learn how to milk. We were taking the cheese making classes while the sheep were doing their lambing, and so as soon as they got done, we were able to roll right out of that and start practicing our milking and our making cheese. We milked in the old tobacco barn there, and we made cheese on the kitchen counter. Nothing we could sell, but it gave us a lot of practice in making cheese. In 2011, we started up about June, actually making the first sheep cheese here in Kentucky. There's so much to tell about the sheep. They've just about become our best friends and our pets. They're a very mild, gentle creature. I think they've been bred over the years for the temperament to be able to milk. Some of the really outstanding ones, when I say outstanding, the ones that stand out, they let you know who they are, and they're always up there wanting attention. So most of those, they have names. We've got Meg and Mary and Martha and Molly and Dottie and Dolly. Those were our first 6, and they've really become kind of pets to us. And Mary and Meg, they've kind of become the leaders of the flock. Anytime we're moving them, they're always first in line, and they show everybody else where to go. They can't help but become special to you. The business started out shaky at first, just like probably any new business does. We had real high expectations, like most new entrepreneurs do. Plus, we were new to farming, we were new to sheep, we were new to milking, we were new to cheese making, we were really new to marketing. And so some of that we kind of fell on our face on the first year or two. It's starting to grow, and it's actually seemed once people in the right circles start to hear about us, that it kind of snowballs. That's a close-knit crowd, and they kind of talk to each other and promote cheeses that they find. We're really enjoying the attention and the focus that's happening with our cheese, because that's what allows us to do this. We started out as non-cheese makers and not really knowing that much about the cheese world, but we know that in order to keep doing what we love doing, we have to work both sides of the business, both the farming and the shepherding side, and the milking and the cheese side. So it all goes hand in hand. It's very hard, as you know, to finance a startup business because so many people are skeptical. Luckily, we were introduced to Sked. They referred us to Macid. They were very outgoing and receptive to our ideas right from the start. We just started working with them last year and to put in some equipment in our milking parlor. Just looking at the perspective of what Mason's already done to help us with our milking, it's going to make our work so much easier and hopefully help us to be more profitable. It just really gives you a boost to know that there is help out there somewhere, because you feel all alone on the farm sometimes when you're out here doing the work. There may be people talking about Good Shepherd cheese out there, but when we're on the farm, we don't hear them. Just being able to go to a place like Mason, though, and get that kind of technical assistance, and being able to also depend on some financial help from time to time, that really gives us the extra backing that we need when we're out here struggling on the farm.